Kenshin are above the altar of this temple. We will now continue with the chanting of Shambujo, which is called Three Respectful Callings. It can be found on the inside cover of the service book. This will be followed by the aspiration of today's service by Reverend Shibata.
We observe in thankfulness the presence of Shinran Shonin into our world. May his entrusting heart and mind lead us to entrust ourselves in the great compassion so that we too may lead a life of joy, humility, and gratitude. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandabutsu, 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 Namandabutsu.
We now have the pleasure of conducting our Hatsumairi ceremony for 3 children from our Sangha. Hatsumairi literally means first Buddhist service. Often translated as infant presentation service, Hatsumairi represents the first opportunity for parents to bring their children who were born during the previous year to our temple, but can also include older children who did not have the opportunity to previously participate. This ceremony will be conducted by Reverend Shibata at this time.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to again be able to introduce our infants and young children to our ceremony today. Um, Maybe only one is here today. But so we have three children, and as I introduce the children, parents can bring up their children to the front altar and then stand in front here. Okay, so our first child is Evelyn Sophia Diaz, and she was born on December 10th, 2020, and presented by her parents, Timothy and Lilia Diaz. Okay, that's okay. Our next baby is Colin Masao Neishi, born on June 1st, 2024, presented by his parents, Scott and Amy Neishi. And of course, Brother James. Okay, and our next baby is Akaya Rodriguez Garcia, born January 10th, 2022. Oh, Akaya's here. I didn't see her in the back. Yay. And parents are Gian and Alyssa Garcia, and he's presented by his mother, Alyssa, today. Okay. So, good job. So actually, do you want to, you can come and gather here, and then, you can turn and face me. Yeah, come over here. Yeah, so we could see you. Okay. So today you have come to present your loving child before the shrine of Amida Buddha. Just like Queen Maya held the future Buddha in her arms on that fair morning in Lumbini Garden, today you also hold a future Buddha. The seeds of enlightenment are present in every person born, but more than ever during these tender, formative years. So these seeds require the kindness, patience, truthfulness, and wisdom of parental guidance. May you, through the faith you embrace in Amida Buddha, guide the growth of your child with steady and unfailing hands, that they may realize their own wisdom and compassion. Okay, so parents, will you repeat after me? I take this solemn vow to do all in my power to guide the spiritual growth of my child according to the ideals and teachings of the Buddha. And please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 So we would also like to present a certificate to the children. It has a beautiful certificate here, a picture of the temple, and then Kathy's taking a lot of nice photos, so we'll have the children's photos put on the other side. And it says, Hatsumairi Infant Presentation. Our child, Akaya Rodriguez Garcia, has been formally presented before the shrine of Amida Buddha this 18th day of May, 2025. As parents, we have solemnly vowed to do all in our power to guide the spiritual growth of our child according to the high ideals set forth in the teachings of the Buddha. And it's my name and the parents' and child's name. And we'd also like to present each child with this book called Amida's ABCs, the alphabet based on the Buddha's teachings, by Reverend Diane Johnson. Okay. Oh. You're okay. 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 So if we can give our babies a round of applause. Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Candace Shibata, for that lovely service. And welcome to Akaya and Colin. We hope to see you often. Please rise if it is comfortable for you to do so for the singing of the Gatha, Saint Shinran 2, verses 1 through 2. The Gatha can be found in the program or in the service book on page 205. This will be followed by the recitation of the three treasures, which is also in the program or on page 2 of the service book.
Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life? Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One? Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony and a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Butsu. Naman Butsu.
We will continue the service with the chanting of Shoshinge. Shoshinge is the major work of our founder, Saint Shinran. It starts on page 39 and will continue through page 54 in the service book. This will be followed by Nembutsu and a Koku.
世襲信仰上昇後火の水波無明暗都内心臓しうむ上不真実新人天非尿にこ不運無有無しげ無安逆心謙虚大狂気即応超絶合悪種一切善幕本部人門心如来偶世願仏言古来諸下者善人妙分大理家弥陀仏本願念仏邪見教満なく衆生信行十字人に難中死難昔インド祭天子論下中華自治域四こそ現代諸こそ上位如如大本税要記釈迦如来両河川一種五名南天竺龍樹大自主とせ質の財派有無権先絶大乗無常召喚議事小安楽賢治難力六信行異行指導楽億年弥陀仏本願知念即時入筆上有意の上昇如来語大大偶勢音天神菩薩道論説奇妙無下根如来永衆たら見真実公正の超大誓願こういう本願力へこ移動群上昇維新気抜く独大崩壊必弱ぬ大へ収集特殊蓮華造世界即所信用法精進有本の輪現人図入所自由自由下本心論打両天使上古乱書菩薩来三蔵ルシ十条教本上宣教気楽法天神菩薩論修下報道医が見世願 釈然本部新人没承知承知即涅槃非死無量光明道小衆上回復家当社家衝動難所唯名浄土活入万全自力変言宗円満徳語感染症三不三死慶音言粗末放滅道品異所造悪地偶税死安女害称名化全道徳名武将院公愛上三女逆悪公明明後見二年開入音願第一回行者少女今後心狂気一年相互用意大と逆三人即小所上楽原始公開一大教変気や女化二歳先祖出身反戦人法家二度小弁流国十悪人唯小物害悪罪非摂取中煩悩上限水不見大非無見上昇が本心元空明仏教霊民全幕本文人新宗教諸公編集戦弱本願愚悪性現代小自林伝下ケチ義上位小子即入弱上無微楽一新人異能ぬ愚教大自主しと上祭無変国辱悪同族自主愚 sai tohon modai ishin odio an Namanda Vatsinamanda 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 Namanda Vatsin.
We will now have incense offering by the following representatives. Dharma School student Marissa Yu. Dharma School teacher Mike Shibata. Sangha Club, Derek Yu. Young Buddhist Association, Taiga Matsumoto. Young Adult Buddhist Association, Dr. Linda Kawaguchi. Adult Buddhist Association, Dolores Matsumura. Tomono Kai, Kimi Ishihara. Stockton Bukyo Taiko and Fukumoto. Stockton Buddhist Women's Association, Bev Hota. Cortez Hobokai, Mickey Baba. Buddhist Church, Buddhist Church of Stockton, Debbie Nakade. Thank you. Reverend Chubata will now give the Dharma message for today.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Gotan-E to all of you, and of course to Venerable Shinran Shonin. And today I was thinking about birthdays, since it is Shinran's birthday. And, birthdays are so important to celebrate. I think no matter how old we are, how young we are, it's always important to celebrate the birthdays of our loved ones because it really is an expression of love and gratitude for us to do that. And so in my family, what we have been doing in the past is getting together for dinner. We'll either go out or I try to cook. And so actually I'm a little bit behind because both my dad and my sister's birthday was in April, but it was a little bit busy for us. And so I think what I'm going to try to do is make like a sukiyaki dinner at home. But now it's getting a little bit warm, so maybe too warm for sukiyaki. But I think just being able to gather together to celebrate the two of them would make our family really happy. So again, when we usually get together to celebrate, how many of you actually celebrate your birthdays with your friends or your family? Okay, good. And so what do we do usually with cake and candles? What do we do? We eat it, of course. What else do we do before the cutting of the cake? We sing. What do we sing? Happy birthday, right? So we sing happy birthday. And of course, as the recipient, when we're celebrating our birthday, we really appreciate hearing it, right? Because our friends and loved ones are gathering and celebrating us. And then we think about like the last year and then maybe even our wish for the coming year of our birthday. But as singers, when you're actually singing to your family and friends, how do you feel singing happy birthday to your family and friends? You feel happy? Yeah. Love? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else? Gratitude and appreciation for them, right? That they're in your life, right? And so, right, even as singers. So it may not be our birthday, but as the singers of the song Happy Birthday, when we're singing it, of course, we're expressing our love and our gratitude and our happiness for them as they're celebrating another year of life too. So that's what I was thinking when I selected Shoshinge. We chanted Shoshinge, and I wanted to kind of connect that to my Dharma message. So growing up, I always thought as Shoshinge as like that really long chanting, which as an adult and especially as a ministerial student, I grew to really, really appreciate Shoshinge. And the way that we chant is just one way of chanting Shoshinge, but there's a very melodic one, and then also you can chant it very quickly, so there's different versions of Shoshinge, but the one that we chanted is something that I'm used to chanting here at the Buddhist church. And so Shinran, whose birthday we're celebrating today, he wrote Shoshinge. Did you know that he wrote it? And it's such a beautiful, beautiful hymn or poem. And really, this is an expression of gratitude, deep expression of gratitude. And it's kind of like maybe a thank you letter or thank you card. So again, how many of you continue to write thank you notes or thank you cards? I know some of you continue to do that, yeah. It's a beautiful art to be able to do that, to still handwrite your cards. And so can you imagine Shinran, Venerable Shinran, was writing Shoshinge and expressing deep, deep gratitude to Amida Buddha, the Buddha of infinite wisdom and compassion, which the symbol is right in the middle of our altar, and then also to Shakyamuni Buddha, who lived in India more than 2,500 years ago, and to these 7 great teachers whose portraits are on the left-hand side of the altar. And so maybe, especially our students, and you can even, our adults too, can think about some of your special teachers in your lives who really help form and shape your, maybe your path to your career or your your interests and likes. And so I think about many teachers that I had, not only like in elementary school, but still in middle school and high school and even in college and in my master's program. And really, Shoshinge, when we chant it, we're hearing and receiving Shinran's words and appreciation, and we're being able to express that beautiful appreciation ourselves through chanting. And it really connects us to Shinran Shonin, especially during his birthday. Because can you imagine if this one person, Shinran Shonin, wasn't born, then we wouldn't be able to come together as a Sangha. And it's really amazing when you think about that. One person has shaped our lives as a Sangha or community of Jodo Shinshu Buddhist followers. And again, if one small change in his life had happened, we wouldn't be able to be here. We wouldn't be in this beautiful temple that we call our spiritual home. And we wouldn't be able to have the friendships that we do and the different activities that really bring us closer. And of course, food. I mean, who doesn't appreciate food that we have at the temple? But it's really amazing, the birth of one person. And maybe you can think about the birth of one significant person in your life and how different your life would be if that one person wasn't here. So today, I hope we really think about this wonderful dynamic of interconnection that allows us to come together as Jodo Shinshu Buddhist followers because of Shinran Shonin and because of the dedicated work of spreading the Nembutsu teaching and really being able to celebrate that and celebrating that as a beautiful Sangha that we have here. Okay, so to conclude my Dharma message, will you please join me in Gassho? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Thank you, Reverend Shibata, for your message. I think we all have a new appreciation when we're celebrating birthdays. Please stand if it is comfortable for you to do so for the Gatha Shinshu Shuka, verses 1 through 3, which can be found in the service book on pages 217 to 218. This will be followed by the recitation of our pledge. Both can be found on the back cover of the program.
Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Announcements. Sangha Fellowship Sundays, bringing the Sangha together through having fun, will meet in the gym May 18th after service until 2 p.m. Reverend Candace's online book club will meet on May 28th at 6:30 p.m. Please contact Reverend Candace if you are interested in joining. Reverend Candace will be conducting Memorial Day services for the Nokotsudo and area cemeteries on Monday, May 26th. Please see the Karma for the schedule. There will be no service on Sunday, May 25th due to the JCL annual picnic. YBA is a double good virtual fundraiser May 16th through May 20th. Please see the Karma for details. Yaba is having pizza game night on June 21st from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. All are welcome to join and have fun. You can buy your gift cards from the church. See the Karma for the businesses and amounts of gift cards available. Cans and plastic bottles are now being collected by YBA. Please leave your recyclables in the white barrels by the mini chapel. And I believe Debbie Nakata has an announcement.
Good morning, everyone. You know, if I'm here, I'm going to talk about two things. Name tags. If you don't have your name tag, please make one and wear it to support the Inclusion Committee's project. And the second thing is the community garden has been planted, at least the majority of the vegetables. We haven't done the flowers yet. But stop by there and take a look. It's beautiful. We had several donations of plants from Ann and Alan Osugi from Cortez. And Alan every year starts a ton of seeds, and he plants his own garden, and he gives plants away to anybody in the Cortez area who would like to have some starter plants for their own garden. And then he donated the rest of them to the community garden. Well, we have an overabundance of tomatoes. And so Sachi has put them out under the tree by the community garden. And if you would like to take one home for your own garden, please stop by and pick one up. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, you know, I'm not going to dig in the ground and plant my own, plant a tomato plant and all of that. But you can very easily transplant it into like a 5-gallon bucket. You need to punch some holes in the bottom of the bucket for drainage, but then, get some soil, potting soil or something, and you can have your own tomato plant in your backyard or on your patio. And if those of you who don't normally do a garden, you'll find that it's kind of, it's kind of zen-like, go out there and take care of your little vegetable plant every day, and it'll need to be watered every couple of days or whatnot. But you'll reap the benefits of a few homegrown tomatoes and not those store-bought tomatoes. But anyway, please help yourself. They're out under the tree. If we don't give them away, they're going to go to compost. So because they're getting kind of big, so they need to be transplanted. So anyway, help yourself and go take a look at that community garden. It's beautiful. Make sure you say thank you to Brian and Sachi, because they were the ones who put it all together. Okay, thank you.
Immediately following this service, students will go to the classes. If you were not here last week, students will please go to the mini chapel and work on the Parents' Day project. So after this service, the adult Gotan-E service will be held. Students either go to their classes or the mini chapel. Following the service and the classes, everyone is invited to the mini chapel for the Parents' Day luncheon. This is sponsored by Sangha Club, Young Buddhist Association, and Dharma School. As mentioned, next Sunday there's no service. The JCL of French Camp, Lodi, and Stockton are having their annual picnic at Make It Grow Park. Church members are invited to go to attend. You do not have to be a JCL member to attend the picnic. There'll be games for all ages, and there will be door prizes. This coming Thursday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Tomonokai craft class will be held. And 2 Sundays on June 1st, we will have the Drama School Animal Memorial Service. If you wish to, you can bring a photo of a pet and have it shown on the altar. On June 8th, the Dharma School will have their award Sunday, and the temple will have the graduation service and distribution of the scholarships. That will also be followed by a year-end luncheon from the Dharma School. Thank you.
So I just wanted to do a quick thank you, of course, to all of you for your kind attendance today, but also regarding the ceremony, thank you to the families that participated and the children, and thank you, Mike Shibata, for doing the calligraphy and the certificate, and for making the nenju for the children. And then wanted to give a shout out to Charlie and Darlene Bagshaw, who purchased and donated the Mantoshiki show for the children as well. So thank you to all of them. Okay, and of course, thank you, Mei, my minister's assistant, for your kind of support and help today. Thank you.
This will now conclude the first portion of the service. We would like to thank everyone for your attendance today and cordially again invite you to stay for the Parents' Day luncheon in the mini chapel following the adult Dharma message. At this time, Dharma school students up to middle school are dismissed to their classes. Please come forward to offer incense if you have not done so already. We will then listen to Reverend Blaine Nakasone Sakata's Dharma message. Thank you. While Reverend Candace is setting up for the video message, I'll give you a brief bio on Reverend Sakata. Reverend Blaine Nakasone Sakata was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii. He graduated from Pacific Buddhist Academy in 2014. He studied at Hilo and graduated in 2018 with a BA degree in philosophy and Japanese studies. He attended Chobyoko Gakuin, please pardon my pronunciations, in Yukioku, Japan in the spring of 2019 for 2 years, completing school in 2021. In that same year, he entered Ryokoku University in the School of Literature master's program with a major in Shin Buddhist studies. Reverend Blaine returned to Hawaii, started ministry, and graduated from Ryokoku University in 2023. He enjoys and perpetuating Okinawan culture through the Sanshin, Koto, and traditional Okinawa dance and Kimudu, as well as being a taiko player for 14 years. Currently a part of Ryugen Taiko based out of Waihiawa. Reverend Blaine was formerly an associate minister at Hawaii Betsuin and chaplain at Pacific Buddhist Academy. As of August 2024, he has been an associate minister at Hilo Betsuin. In addition, he has also been overseeing Honohina, Papa Aloha, Honomu, and Papa Aiko Honganji missions. And again, pardon me, my Hawaiian is not good. Okay, we're ready for the message.
So I apologize in advance. Our projector isn't working, so we're doing what we can. So I hope everybody could hear.
Good morning, everybody. I would ask you if you can join me in Gasho as I read a opening quote. Quote, if the original vow of Amida is true, then Shakyamuni's sermons cannot be untrue. If the Buddha's words are true, then Zendo's comments cannot be untrue. If Zendo's comments are true, how can Honin's saying be false? If Honin's sayings are true, what I, Shinran, say cannot possibly be false either. After all is said, such is the faith of this simpleton. Beyond this, it is entirely left up to each one of you, whether you accept and believe in the Nembutsu or reject it. Thus it was said, Namando,
Namando.
Well, good morning, Stockton Buddhist Church, or as we say in Hawaii, aloha. And today's opening quote comes to us from the Tanisho, the second chapter. And first off, I would like to express my gratitude, through the various causes and conditions in Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion. I'm honored to be your guys' guest speaker for this Gotan-E service. And the great causes and conditions that I speak of is an invitation by Reverend Candace Shibata Sensei. And I'd also like to thank all of you, the Sangha, for listening to me via video. And in Buddhism, we say that life is suffering, but I will try my best to to make this at least painful as possible. And in the introduction of me that I presume there was, I don't think on our Hawaii Kyodan website it says that I'm the handsomest minister of Hawaii Kyodan. And I'm not sure how many of you guys know other ministers in Hawaii. If I'm the first, then obviously I'm the most handsome because you have no choice. But if you know some other ministers, they might put up a fight and say that they're the handsomest. So I just have to put my name out there. I don't want to compare myself to the BCA ministers, so I'll just stick to Hawaii so far. But anyway, going back to my talk, whether I talk here at Hilo Betsuin or whether I talk at other temples, I often like to quiz people and I like to play games. And, I thinking about what to do. I decided I'll play a game with you guys and not quiz you guys. I'll be nice. And the game that I want to play is just simple. It's a simple game, fill in the blank. And since today is Gotan-E, right, in English we say it's Shinran Shonen's birthday, the game is about Shinran Shonen and, of course, ourselves. And this game is to fill in the blank of an I statement. And so the statement is, because Shinran Shonen was born, I blank. Again, because Shinran Shonen was born, I blank. And if I was really good at technology, I would be able to magically appear and answer. But I'm not that advanced, so you just get my fancy hand motions. And so, because Shinran Shonen was born, I blank. I hope all of you have been able to think about at least one answer. And I'm sure your wonderful Reverend Candice Shibata Sensei has been able to think of at least 5 things in this moment. And I'm going to imagine that she's nodding her head yes and agreeing with me wholeheartedly. But, in reality, right, we should always think about, because Shinran Shonen was in fact born, what have I been able to gain from that? And I think it is important when we think about Gotan-E. Because Shinran Shonen was born, I blank, right? And so I want you to all think about your answers as I go on with my talk for today. And so first off, I want to look at the word Gotan-E. And, we say it's Shinran Shonen's birthday, celebrating his birth. But I implore you all to indulge me, and I want us to look at the characters, and maybe we can think about a new way to understand what it means for Shinran Shonen to have been born into this world. Yeah. And the first character is Go. And for those who understand Japanese, speak Japanese, this character is typically read as Oriru, Orosu, or Furu. Like when we say it's raining, we say ame ga futteru. This is the kanji for futteru or furu. But this character, right, essentially it's giving us the meaning of to fall or to descend. And the second character is Tang. And in being that it's Shinran Shonen's birthday, I think some of us may know the word Tanjobi, right? And this is the character for Tang. And of course, lastly, A, or a gathering, right? So Gotan-E. And so while yes, it does mean to celebrate a gathering for Shinran Shonen's birth, I think if we think about it in the Buddhist aspect, it really emphasizes the importance of his birth into this world. And in this way of expressing our indebtedness to Shinran Shonen is the same way that Shinran Shonen felt about Shakyamuni being born into this world. And we can see this actually in Shoshinge. And I'm sure Reverend Shibata Sensei wakes up every morning and maybe at 8 or maybe at 6 like Honzan chants Shoshinge. And I hope some of you guys join her. But if not, I will tell you that in Shoshinge, there is one portion that goes, Nyorai shōi koshuse yuisetsu mida hongan kai, gojoku akuji gun shogai, hoshin nyorai myojutsu gon. And in English, it translates to, Shakyamuni Agatha appeared in this world solely to teach the ocean-like primal vow of Amida. We, an ocean of beings in an evil age of 5 defilements, should entrust ourselves to the Tathagata's words of truth. End quote. And so along these lines, if we go back to our game, because Shinran Shonen was born, I blank, right? If I were to fill it in, I came up with Because Shinran Shonin was born, I have been able to encounter boundless wisdom and compassion. Because Shinran Shonin was born, I've been able to recite the name Namo Amida Butsu. Because Shinran Shonin was born, I am able to live a life of gratitude. Right? But also, for me, because Shinran Shonin was born, I've been able to become proficient in Japanese. I've been able to live in Japan. I've been able to become a minister. I get to share the joy of the Nembutsu with others. I get to live each day, each moment in gratitude. And so when I think about Shinran Shonin's birth into this world, I think about how I'm connected to Shinran Shonin, even though I've never met him physically, but yet in the Nembutsu, we are one. So because Shinran Shonin was born into this world and shared the Nembutsu teachings with so many people, right, especially with common folks like you and I, it has led to various causes and conditions that the teachings have been perpetuated for over 800 years. And this year makes 136 years of the Jodo Shinshu teachings being in Hawaii. And because of that, multiple temples were constructed and passed down for generations. And the teachings thrived here in Hawaii. That so much so that on Oahu, at Hawaii Betsuin and our headquarters, they created the Pacific Buddhist Academy, right? The first Jodo Shinshu high school outside of Japan, which I attended actually in 2010. And then in 2011, I went on a school trip with a PBA, Pacific Buddhist Academy, to Kyoto, Japan, to Honzan, in commemorating Shinran Shonin's 750th memorial. And it was during that time where we participated in the service. And, you know, this was pre-COVID, so there was a lot of people packed into the Hondo. And when we started chanting Shoshinge, you know, the probably Gomon-shu-sama, at the time Zenmon-sama, chanted Kimyo Muryo Junyo Dai, and then everybody else after comes in Namo Fukashikiko. And in that moment when everybody's voice chanted out loud, the sound really hit me like a wall, is what I normally say. And in that moment, I reflected on my life thus far. And I realized how much I have been able to receive because of attending this school, because of my intent of wanting to become proficient in Japanese. And because of that, I really wanted to give back to the temple. And so, after graduating from PBA, I attended University of Hawaii here in Hilo, and I double majored in philosophy and Japanese studies, where I was able to learn other worldviews as well as become more proficient in Japanese. And then I graduated in 2018, and in the following spring of 2019, I moved to Kyoto, Japan, where I attended the Chobukyo Gakuen, also known as Chubutsu. I went there for 2 years, and in those 2 years, I was able to get my Tokudo, and then that's when COVID hit, and so my Kyoshi was back a little bit, but I was able to get my Kyoshi, and then I entered the Ryukoku University in their master's program, where I focused my studies on Shin Buddhism. And you know, when I think about all this, I think because Shinran Shonin was born, I've been able to become more proficient in Japanese. I've been able to live in Japan. I've been able to, you know, study his great teachings. I've been able to get ordained. But even when I was in Hawaii, I was encountering the Jodo Shinshu teachings. Although it took me going to Japan to really understand what that meant. What Jodo Shinshu means, what Shinran Shonin was trying to say, is trying to say, and really understanding what his birth into this world meant, the truth behind the words that he was sharing. And while I was in Japan, I actually questioned my own heart of entrusting. And it was then when I decided that I should do what Jodo Shinshus do best. And, you know, when we say in Jodo Shinshu we don't have a practice, there is a thing that we should all do that we focus on in Jodo Shinshu. And I wonder if you all know what that is. It is not reciting the Nembutsu, but it is something that we do, that we should do constantly. And that is to listen. Okay? Or in Japanese, we say mombo, listen to the teachings. And so I decided to listen. And I had a lot of great teachers, very high up in the academia of Jodo Shinshu, of Ryokoku University. And I decided to listen. And I listened to my friends, I listened to my lectures. And everything at first did not make sense. It was not what I had perceived, but there was one day when everything slowly started to come together. And suddenly, the Shinshu teachings made sense. Suddenly, I understood what Shinan Shonen was trying to say. And, you know, us, you and I, living in this latter age, I think we can often turn to the Tanisho, which in English is called the Notes Lamenting Differences. And in it, right, while it's not composed by Shinan Shonen, it does clarify certain topics that is often discussed, and that is often topics of Dharma talks for us. And in the first chapter, it reads, when we believe that we are to be born in the Pure Land, being saved by Amida's inconceivable vow, there rises up within us the desire to utter the Nembutsu. At that moment, we share in the benefit of being embraced and not forsaken. We should know that Amida's original vow does not discriminate whether one is young or old, good or evil, and that faith alone is of supreme importance. For it is the vow that seeks to save the sentient beings burdened with grave sins and fiery passions. Therefore, if we have faith in the original vow, no other good is needed, because there is no good surpassing the Nembutsu. Nor should evil be feared, because there is no evil capable of obstructing Amida's original vow. Thus it was said. Namanda. You know, when I read this, I understand, in understanding, that this is true, the true working of the Nembutsu. With a renewed heart of entrusting, I was eager to then share the teachings of the Nembutsu with people, of course, here in Hawaii, to my temple, to the community, and now I get to do it with you all. And that I get to be a minister every day and every moment, whether I'm at temple or I'm on the pickleball courts. Yes, I'm a pickleball player. I'm sorry if there are any tennis players out there. I'm not a big fan of tennis, but maybe we can one day play pickleball together. But whether it is even on the courts, I get to share the joy of the Nembutsu in every way possible. And it is because of this, right, essentially, that I believe, because Shinran Shonen was born, I've been able to realize this teaching, which is true and which is real, as I live a life of gratitude. Just as today's opening quote from the Tanisho in chapter 2 states, because Amida Buddha's primal vow, the original vow, right, the 18th vow is true. Subsequently, Shakyamuni Buddha, Zendo Daishi, Honen Shonen, and of course, Shinran Shonen's words are all true. And in thinking about this topic of Gotan-E, I thought that while life isn't perfect, and the world around us sometimes seems to be going astray, with the Dharma, which is true, as my guide, as your guide, as all of our guides, even in the darkest of days, we are still able to live a life of gratitude. Of course, right, it's not always easy, but I believe a life in the Nembutsu is the easiest it's going to get. And when we come together as one Sangha, as one community, things become easier. And of course, while I may be in Hawaii and you all on the continent, in the Nembutsu, I believe we are all one. That we are all being embraced and never abandoned. And lastly, because Shinran Shonin was born, I've been able to have this moment with all of you, truly as one Sangha, rejoicing in the teachings that we have been able to encounter in this world. And so for that, I thank you all. I thank you all for having me as a guest speaker. And as we celebrate Shinran Shonin's birth, we should always reflect on all the things that we have been able to do with our lives, to live our lives, how we live our lives, because we have been able to encounter the teachings that he decided to share with everyone. And because of that, I think there's no greater joy, no greater thing that we can express our gratitude for. And so in conclusion, again, I would like to thank you all for having me. And because Shinran Shonin was born, we get to do this together. We get to walk this Nembutsu path together. And for that, it brings me great joy. And hopefully one day, we can meet in person and together recite the Nembutsu in harmony. But until then, if you could all join me in Gasho as we recite the name Namo Amida Butsu with the heart of gratitude. Namanda, 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 Namanda.
So thank you, everybody, for attending the second portion. And I apologize, it was a little bit hard to hear, but we'll definitely have it online, so you can watch it online. But again, we want to thank Reverend Blaine Nakasone Sakata for submitting his very wonderful Dharma message by video. And hopefully one of these days he can come visit us, or maybe I can go over there, but at Hilo, Betsuin. But I do want to just, again, extend my appreciation. I actually met him in Japan last year when many of us went to the World Buddhist Women's Convention, and he was so kind to travel along with us, and he acted as my personal kind of translator for various activities that we and a few of our other colleagues from Hawaii Kyodan went on, like going out to dinner, and I made perfume in Kyoto and all of these different things, and did some work business, but he was a wonderful translator, and I know that he's going to be a wonderful friend. So thank you again, Reverend Blaine, for your beautiful message. And of course, thank you again for your kind attendance. Please join us in the mini chapel for the Parents' Day luncheon for more fellowship and delicious food. And if you didn't have an opportunity, please come forward to offer incense before you leave. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.